What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here to talk a little Underdog NBA Playoff Best Ball. While you're coming in, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. Underdog is your one-stop shop for all your best ball fantasy and pick 'em prop needs, and we have a great offer for new users. You can get a 100% first deposit match bonus up to $100 by clicking the link in the description of this video or using promo code Stokastic. That's STOK. ASTIC is the promo code to get a first deposit match bonus up to $100. I've been doing a few of these videos the past few weeks, one per week, and now we have a little bit more information. We almost know exactly who the playoff teams are going to be here. Nice, I got the 101. All right, I entered a draft before starting this video, filled just as I was starting, and got the 101. So Giannis looks like a pretty good 101 for me. Looks like he's the consensus 1.1. People thinking the Bucks are going to make the finals. 538 has the Bucks with the third best odds of making the finals at 29%. Good enough for me. If they do make the finals, you're absolutely going to need Giannis. So I'm happy with taking Giannis 101. All right, and I'm going to start there right away, take Giannis. So now I'm going to be building. If you're new to the format, you do need to advance week after week. So, sorry, round after round. So the first round of the playoffs, you need to have teams that put up a good number of points, and then all the way through the finals, you need to have a team that can. Ideally, you need to have at least 5 players from the teams that make the finals for the final round to really get that big payout. You need to do well in the final round, which means you got to pick 2 teams, one from the Eastern Conference, one from the Western Conference, who you think have a shot at making the finals. Here now, because I took Giannis first, I'm going to be building for a Bucks finals. So I'm going to queue up some Bucks right away. Throw Drew in there. Oops. What's going on here? Brooke Lopez, Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis. Maybe I'll throw Grayson Allen in case I can't get some better players to fill it up early on. I think Javon Carter probably as low as I would go. If I don't get Drew, sometimes in my most recent draft, I didn't get Drew, so I ended up taking Javon Carter to fill out my I think it was a Bucks and Suns stack. Maybe I couldn't fill it out all that well with stars, so I went Bucks and Suns. So now I got to think, all right, so I probably want, if Drew comes to me, I'll take Drew, but then I also got to start thinking about which other team do I think is going to be there from the Western Conference. Could build in Lakers right away. They're a long shot, but we do know that they're in the playoffs as of last night. Sadly, they beat my Timberwolves, so the Lakers are now in the playoffs as the 7 seed. Okay, Davis just went. So I've already got Giannis, who is a wing on Underdog. So now, ideally, I'd get a big. So I could just go Brooke Lopez here. All right, let's see first. Do I want to build for a Denver? Because nobody's going to have Jokic. So I could now build for a Milwaukee-Denver stack, which I actually think is a pretty good way to go here. I'd get my guard, I'd get my big right away. I think that's how I'm going to. Oh, actually, Drew came back to me. What am I talking about? I'm going to go Drew first. Drew fell to me, so now I've got my guard. I could actually take Brooke Lopez and push it down the line to who I want to stack from the Western Conference. Usually, I don't like to do that. I like to mix in both teams early on, just because you're more likely to get unique stacks. A lot more people will probably have the Giannis, Drew, Brooke Lopez stack than mixing in from other teams right away. So I think even with Brolo there, I do need a big though, and I can't take. Yeah, I'm gonna go Brolo. Oops, I didn't do that right. All right, well now I'm okay. I did get Brolo. So now I have these 3. Not usually my best way to start. Not usually my favorite way to start. The reason that I decided I was actually trying to get Brolo there. The reason is just because I already have a guard and a wing, and I can't get Jokic later. So if I did end up building that Denver stack with my Milwaukee stack, it wouldn't have actually worked out that well. I wouldn't have had a good big in there. I guess I could have gotten Bobby Portis on the back end, so maybe I could have made it work. Yeah, I think this is fine though. I'll start with the Milwaukee guys. Man, do I want to go full Milwaukee stack if Chris Middleton comes back to me? That's where I really have to start thinking, like, do I want to start building in my Western Conference stack? But as I was saying, you want a team that can field a full 5-man roster. So in each round, you're going to get points from your guard, a wing, a big, and then 2 flex players. So you need 5 players that can fill that roster in each round of the playoffs. Ideally, obviously you'll get some points from if you just have 3 in the final round, but ideally you do have a full 5 there if you really want a shot at the big money. So usually I'm trying to build the way I've been building is I'm just trying to take 5 players. I'm not trying to, get totally stacked the finals because you only get credit for 5. I'm usually trying to take 5 players that can mix in for the finals. And then I'm also trying to find stars that can get me through the first round, hopefully the second round. So, Lakers now a good team. They're, probably not going to make the finals, but you can at least get stars from the Lakers. Actually, Atlanta would be a great example now. They just made the playoffs as of last night. So now Atlanta is a team that, if you can get Trey Young kind of late, we know he's going to help you in the first round. Trey Young, DeJounte Murray, some of the other options. I don't know if you really want to go to Capella, John Collins. You could build that in, but now I'm trying to just build 5 players from the finals, and then I'm just trying to build in players that can get me there. So rather than trying to super stack the finals, I'm just trying to take 5 players, and then I'm trying to find stars that can get me to the finals. So trying to figure out who I need to mix in. So Milwaukee, I haven't chosen. I haven't picked a Western Conference team yet, so I could still do that. Who do I want to take from the West here? Don't think I'm going to go Brolo and Bobby Portis, so I'm going to uncheck Bobby Portis. All right, Chris Middleton just went. I think I'm going to forego. I do have 3 from Milwaukee now, so I can take another at the end if I really need to fill out the 5, but I'm going to try to see if I can. I assume Domantas Sabonis. Yep, Sabonis went. Fox is a player that could help me get there as well. Maybe Golden State here. Clippers. Could theoretically go Kawhi and Westbrook. Might be a little bit unique. Where do we have the Clippers in terms of finals odds? 3% chance of making the finals. Not the strongest, but I would be at least getting. Okay, Kawhi went already. All right, so I'm going to put Chris Paul in there. I'm going to star Paul and then see what else I want here. Boston. So I can't get the stars from Boston, obviously, but nobody's going to have Giannis and Tatum. So it's probably okay. And I guess I'm gonna see what I can get from Phoenix here. All right, so I got Chris Paul. There's nobody else I really want from Phoenix just yet. So now I might be going for kind of scraps later on. Maybe I do just do Bobby Portis here. Feels a little bit thin. Maybe I think I'm gonna hold off and take a player later on. This might have been a mistake doing this these teams, because a lot of the stars are already gone here. Screw it. I'm going Bobby Portis. So I do still have. So now I've already built up my 5-man. I don't love the way this is turning out, to be honest. This is not the best draft that I've done here. I do have now the full 5-man Milwaukee and Phoenix stack, but 4 of them are from Milwaukee, which I don't really love. This does give me the option now to build in multiple stacks with multiple different Western Conference teams, and because I have each position filled with Milwaukee, I can take from any position if I want to just build out for, a 4-man Milwaukee stack in the finals, and then multiple different places that I could build in Western Conference teams. So it gives me versatility in my lineup. I just don't think that I have. What I don't love about this lineup is the Suns obviously have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and there are probably going to be some people who have a combo of Giannis with Devin Booker. Where do those guys go? Let's see. Yeah, so Durant goes in the first round. So probably not a ton of Giannis with Durant, maybe from some earlier drafts, possibly. There might be some with Giannis and Devin Booker. That's probably the more likely. And then getting Chris Paul. So they probably have better. Yeah, because Devin Booker, I'd rather have Devin Booker than Jrue Holiday, I think. So I don't think that this is a great draft for me at this point. I've had better drafts where I came out feeling like I got the stars. Ultimately, what you really want is to have 2 teams where you get like most of the stars. And here, of course, I have all of the stars other than Middleton from Milwaukee, but I only have Chris Paul from the Suns. So I think there will be, if it does end up being a Suns Milwaukee finals, I don't think that I'm winning this. So probably a mistake taking Chris Paul there. Probably should have tried to build out some other Western Conference team that had more stars on the back end. I was just thinking I could build up secondarily with Denver, and now that's gone. All right, what else can I build here from any other Western Conference teams that I can think about here? Maybe I can build in my Timberwolves here. That'll be unique, potentially. How likely is it that Milwaukee meets the Timberwolves in the finals? Very, very unlikely, unfortunately. But they can help me get there. through the first round. They just need to win their play-in game on Friday. Help me get to the final, get to the finals, get this team to the finals, and then of course there's some outside chance that things go really weird and somehow the Timberwolves make it to the finals even without Jaden McDaniels. I think it's pretty unlikely here, but you can dream, right? And this will be a little bit more unique now. I think a lot more people will have that 4-man Milwaukee stack. Some of them will have Chris Paul. So not the best draft I've had, to be honest, but trying to salvage it, make it something that can, at least have some chance of doing well in the finals. A prayer on the Timberwolves here, I guess. Now, what other Western Conference teams can I think about here? A lot of Eastern Conference at the top. I could take Jordan Poole. Any other teams where I could actually get the stars? I guess the Pelicans. I could take Brandon Ingram. Actually, I think that's a good call. I could take Brandon Ingram here. They do have to win 2 games to get to the playoffs now. They need to win their play-in game tonight. I'm coming at you. This is Wednesday recording. So they will be playing a play-in game tonight, and then they have to, of course, win on Friday as well against the Timberwolves. So this is counterproductive. I already took Timberwolves, so I really want to do Timberwolves and the Pelicans. I'd be right away starting with some players that are not even in the playoffs. So maybe I'm going to skip that. I could take one more from the Suns. Hope that something happens where Josh Okogie's putting up a big score. Yeah, OKC would also need to beat the Timberwolves. So since I already took the Timberwolves, I'm less inclined to take shots on OKC guys or Pelicans guys. I was just about to go take Trae Young, even though he doesn't help me in the finals because I'm banking on Milwaukee being there. Trae Young is a great play right now since he has made it to. They're in the playoffs now officially. We have Trae Young on the playoffs. Could take D'Lo, I guess. We do have the Lakers in the playoffs now. Yeah, maybe I'll take a D'Lo here. And then I have the last pick. So maybe with the last pick, I'll think about Nkoji. See if there's somebody else here who can get me through the first round of the playoffs. Keep going back there to Ingram. Julius Randle's out, right? I guess Westbrook could help me. All right, going Westbrook. That's a 4th guard too, but I have Giannis at wing. Like Giannis is going to fill up my wing spot, so it don't really need anybody else at wing. Center, I've got not the strongest centers. Maybe I should have focused on finding a big here. Any high upside early round bigs that are not counter to my other players. I do have Towns to potentially help me in the first round. We're working under the assumption that the Timberwolves make the playoffs in this lineup. So I do have Towns there. Yeah, from a positionality standpoint, if the Timberwolves do make it to the playoffs, I think that I'm looking pretty good just because I have obviously Giannis at wing, Drew and Chris Paul, pretty strong 4 guards there. No like true superstars at guard, I guess. Hopefully one of them can spike. And of course, having diversity there for the first round, at least, it's kind of nice because some series are going to last longer than others. So you can hope that one of these players ends up in a series that goes 7 games, 6 games at least. And they can put up a big fantasy score. Thinking about whether I want to throw one more Suns player in there who could theoretically beat out like a Bobby Portis here. Don't necessarily need to, though. So I'm mostly just looking for high upside first round players. Pelicans guys obviously stand out. Maybe I could go to Bam if Bam comes back to me. Heat obviously lost to the Hawks, but they're going to have a second shot at making the playoffs on, I think, Friday. and Bam will look pretty good if he does make the playoffs. So maybe that's where I'll go if he does fall back to me. A lot of players here don't feel like they're really going to help me at any point here. So I don't think I'm going to these lower end plays. Could go Claxton. All right, Bam went. Claxton's got some upside, I think. But actually, I could go Zubats here. I did already take Westbrook. Build in another little stack there. Hope that Zubats gets big minutes if they need him in the finals. Yeah, I'll go with Zubats. I don't hate that play, actually. All right. Well, not my best draft, to be perfectly honest. I think that this was I screwed it up a little bit by taking Chris Paul there. I think I should have looked a little bit more and known that the Suns don't have much in terms of star power beyond Chris Paul with Booker and was Aiton already gone? Aiton must have been gone too. I didn't even see Aiton there because otherwise I think he would have been a good pick there. But probably not my best build here. But it'll work if Milwaukee gets there and the Suns are in the finals. There's at least a chance that this lineup can do well. And then of course I also have the outs of Milwaukee can play any of these other teams in the Western Conference where I took players and it'll fill out a full roster. So if Milwaukee's playing the Suns in the finals, the Lakers, the Clippers, Timberwolves, if any of these teams make the finals along with Milwaukee, I'll be able to field a full roster. Will it be the best roster? If they're playing the Timberwolves, yeah, I think that would probably be the best, at least a competitive roster for that particular matchup. That's also the least likely matchup. If they're playing the Clippers, no, I don't have Kawhi in there. You'd probably want to have Kawhi in there. Lakers obviously don't have the stars there, so it'll be a strong lineup if it ends up making to the finals with Milwaukee and the Timberwolves. It'll be an okay lineup if it ends up making with one of these other teams. So not a great draft overall. I prefer the ones where I get the superstars from two teams. I get filled out a full 5-man roster with star power there, and then also build in some players that can help me get to the finals. But I think that this will do. I think that it's a fine, better than a lot of, you look at some of the people we're drafting with aren't even stacking teams, not even stacking the finals. I do really think that that's the most important thing you can do is at least make sure you can build a full 5-man roster in the finals, even if it's not teams that you think are particularly likely to make the finals. That's probably better than no stacking. In general, though, I am looking at, the odds of teams making it to the finals. And ideally, Suns and up are my preferences here. I like building from any of these teams to make the finals. And then, sometimes I go off the board and I'll go down to some of these lower end teams. But in general, I'm trying to find a full 5-man roster, making the assumption that these teams, two of these teams are in the finals together. And then I build just superstars from there and hope for the best. So that is going to be my approach to this slate. And, some roster construction points, obviously, since I have Giannis at wing, I don't need to take a bunch of wings there. Giannis should, if this lineup goes as it's supposed to, Giannis is going to fill that wing spot. And then from there, obviously, if you take a guy like Ant, somebody who can put up a lot of points to fill in one of your flex spots, that's great. But you don't need to force in a second wing because Giannis is just going to take in that wing spot. I think that's going to do it for this video. Hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions at PlayerQDFS. My DMs are open. So if you have questions about, playoff best ball strategy, feel free to hit me up. We are getting to the point where we almost know who is actually in the playoffs here. We're going to know by the end of Friday. So by then you can make drafts fully confident in what the matchups are, who's in the playoffs, all that. So it's going to be fun. I'm sure a lot more drafts are going to be happening this week. Anyway, good luck in your drafts. Good luck in the playoffs. I'll catch